All protocols observed. Good morning, everyone. My role here is twofold today. I'm to give you an overview of UNESCO and also to deliver the message from the President of the World Federation. Okay. UNESCO, as it exists today, is the heir to the League of Nations. I suppose most people are aware of Bob Marley's song, War, and that was the address that His Imperial Majesty made to the League of Nations when Italy invaded Ethiopia. And at the end of it, a commentator said, this was the beginning of the end of the League of Nations. But that dying gave birth to UNESCO. UNESCO is an organization dedicated to the development of international intellectual cooperation. Its role is to forge a community of ideas, knowledge, and purpose. It's also dedicated to contributing to the progressive forging of a universal vision, reflecting and drawing benefit from the sum of the differences that exist within nations. In the medium-term strategy for 2008 to 2013, UNESCO has as one of its main objectives to reach the unreached, to include the excluded, to facilitate the exercise of civil rights and the participation of everyone in development, and to learn to live together and to build together despite disagreements and differences. We saw this in Mexico, where Japan was beside China for most of the proceedings, and Japan could speak about the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, directing his speech to the US, who had their representative there. And Vietnam could also touch the US because mines are still active in Vietnam and causing a lot of disfigurements. And everyone there with differences could speak without animosity. That is the fellowship that UNESCO brings to groups and to people. This kind of discourse has led Japan to forge ahead through the UN, and we are hoping that March 11th will become the International Day of Global Ethics. This meaning it's encouraging nations to be responsible for future generations. So it's taking care of the earth, leaving it better than you found it, and leave it intact for future generations. UNESCO on a whole is a conduit for collaboration through education, science, and culture, in order to further universal respect for justice, the rule of law, and human rights. UNESCO has 193 members. Jamaica is fortunate in that we host one of the cluster offices for Latin America and the Caribbean. We have a national commission, and now out of that national commission, we have our federation. UNESCO has divided the world in 5 regions: Latin America and the Caribbean, Asia, Africa, the Arab region, and North America and Europe. The Latin American region, to which we are a part of, there are 39 members. Last year, Jamaica celebrated 30 years of affiliation with UNESCO, and UNESCO clubs also celebrated 30 years of being. Here in Jamaica, the club movement has had a low-keyed but steady existence, and having gone to Vietnam, we have seen the impact that the club movement has worldwide, And we at the Federation now refuse to sit still, and I know that with the patronage of the Honorable Minister, our goals are achievable. Since the first UNESCO club was founded in Japan in 1947, clubs, centers, and associations for UNESCO have been very valuable partners for the organization. Club movement members, who are all volunteers, include people of all ages and nationalities from every walk of life. They share a commitment to UNESCO's ideals and work to translate them into reality on the ground. At the international level, the World Federation of UNESCO Clubs, Centers, and Associations is responsible for informing, coordinating, and mobilizing its members with UNESCO's support and cooperation. In light of civil society's growing role in public policy making, the club movement can play a key part in educating citizens and can contribute to dialogue between cultures for sustainable development. From each of the schools and organizations here after the program to speak to me, because I have a package for you all clubs. Thank you. And now I'll give you the message from George Christophides. He's the president for the World Federation. It is with pleasure that I received information by the president of Jamaica Federation of UNESCO Clubs, Centers, and Associations, Mrs. Lorne, and the president of the Regional Federation, Mr. Everton Hannam, regarding the national launching of UNESCO clubs in Jamaica on 12th April 2012. I express my thanks and appreciation for the invitation that I received to address the event, and I respond by this letter. I was glad to meet Mrs. Lorne during the 32nd session of the Executive Board of WFUCA in Veracruz and discussed with her and the Vice President of WFUCA for Latin America and Caribbean region, Mr. Enrique Castro, all issues regarding Jamaica and Latin American region. On the special occasion of the national launching of UNESCO clubs in Jamaica, I convey my warm regards and congratulations to all UNESCO club leaders in Jamaica and to the National Commission for their contribution to the promotion of the ideals of UNESCO. I write these words as a token of appreciation and as a warm greeting to the people of Jamaica. I am certain that the event of the 12th April will mark a new beginning in the national and regional efforts to make the Latin American region as powerful as expected by WFUCA. The meeting in Veracruz has shown the extreme power that this region has in the light of the expressed intention by more than 7 countries to join WFUCA as full members. I conveyed to the President, Mrs. Lorne, and the Secretary General of WFUCA and President of Latin America and Caribbean region, Mr. Everton Hannam, as well as to all other colleagues and friends of the Jamaica Federation and National Commission, my warm wishes. The World Federation of UNESCO Clubs, Centers, and Associations, after the 8th World Congress in Hanoi and the 32nd session of the Executive Board of WFUCA in Veracruz, has entered into a dynamic process in meeting successfully the present needs and challenges that our world faces nationally and internationally. The important discussions that were taken in Veracruz, Mexico, regarding the global ethics projects and the international contest on best UNESCO club practices will mobilize the movement worldwide and will present to the global society a unique chance to reshape the ethics in the world and practices by governments and citizens so that to provide alternative solutions to the existing global problems. For this purpose, an appeal will be extended to all spiritual and political leaders in the world as well as to the Secretary General of the United Nations Organization and to UNESCO. Thank you.